6:30 on Channel 9.
Perry Williams, J.G. Preston, Jim Gilliland, and Doug McLeod here at Prep Bowl 8 at the Metronome. Our halftime score, Class B, the Thunderbirds of Gibbon-Fairfax-Winthrop leading the Perham Yellow Jackets 14-7. Take a look at the statistics at J.G. for the first half. And
not a lot of offense in that first half.
A lot of white space right now, but the big key moment as far as Perham's concerned is the 90-yard touchdown run on the opening kickoff of the game by Charlie Nelson. That staked them to the 7-0 lead. But then the offense from Gibbon-Fairfax-Winthrop got in gear, twice marched it down the field, and punched it in the end zone. Here's a look at the stats. See, it really jumps out at you, maybe total yards.
There's actually one misprint on the stats. That would indicate that GFW has thrown 3 interceptions. That's not true. They've not thrown any interceptions. Not a lot of passing in this game, and really the rushing yardage is just being accumulated in small chunks. Jeff Deming had a 32-yard run for GFW, but other than that, nothing really long. In fact, no Perham rusher has more than 19 yards net so far in the game.
Well, the coaches thought this might be a low-scoring game. Defense certainly has been the name of the game throughout the playoffs for these clubs. Perham, of course, battled, scrapped their way into the state championship game with 10-7 victories over De La Salle and #1 ranked Deer River, and late field goals by Dan Meyer. And then Gibbon-Fairfax-Winthrop with shutouts in 6 of their last 7 games, including in the state playoff semifinals over Rushford-Peterson 34-0.
And Rushford had played in the Class C state championship game last year before they paired with Peterson and moved up into Class B.
Well, there you see the Yellow Jackets are back on the field, loosening up, doing their sprints, as we are just moments away from our start of our second half. We're still waiting for the appearance of the Thunderbirds from Gibbon-Fairfax-Winthrop.
The GFW touchdowns in the first half scored by Scott Meyer on a 12-yard run and by Jeff Deming on a 1-yard run. John Deming kicked both extra points. Here's a final score from Iowa City. The Minnesota Golden Gophers beat the Hawkeyes 43-7. 122 yards for Darrell Thompson in his final collegiate game on 33 carries, as Minnesota intercepted 4 passes, and Iowa just had a miserable season at Kinnick Stadium this year. I think they wound up going 1-5 at home. Also a final to repeat for you: Michigan winning the Big Ten outright, beating Ohio State 28-18. And also in the Big Ten this afternoon, Michigan State 31, Wisconsin 3. Minnesota winds up 6-5, Gary, and while there hasn't been a lot of speculation about a bowl bid for the Gophers, they've not had really on balance that good of a season. But I've said all along that a 6-5 team from a conference like the Big Ten with a premier player like Darrell Thompson would have to be an attraction for somebody somewhere.
Well, we'll see. Well, I think if you're before we get back to the Prep Bowl, I think, though, if you're a member of the bowl committee, you might be concerned about the following in the attendance here for the Minnesota Golden Gophers throughout the regular season. But we shall see what transpires there as the bowl bids do come out later. And here at Prep Bowl 8, both teams now in the field, and the fans starting to file in throughout the day. It gets more full with each passing moment. Of course, we started out with our Class 9-man championship game. That was some hours ago, and that was captured by St. Clair most impressively, 47-12 over Albrook. That was a battle of 2 unbeaten teams coming in. The only such matchup we have here all day long. Battle of unbeaten. St. Clair won it handily, 47-12. Then an exciting Class C championship game. Waterville Elysian with a late touchdown, a fourth-quarter touchdown, and had to hang on with an interception around the 10-yard line. Beat Monoman, who was unbeaten at 13-0, 14-7. That final score. So Waterville Elysian was the Class C champion. Monoman has done several unbeaten seasons throughout their history. 1928 the first, 1980 the last. They fall short here today. Let's see what's coming up next year as Prep Bowl 89 and continues. Our Class A championship game will be after this. The Eagles from Totino-Grace, located in the Fridley area, Twin Cities, against the unbeaten Huskies from Albany. They are 13-0. Then our Class AA championship game scheduled tonight. The Ponies out of Stillwater at 10-3 against the Burnsville Braves. 12-1, as you mentioned earlier, too, JG. That is a rematch going back some years, way back 1984, when those two teams met for the AA title.
Those two schools are among the very elite programs in the state. I suppose you'd have to throw Osseo into that group. And after that, I don't know. Those three have really kind of dominated the 1980s. Let's jump back into college quickly, Perry, to get the rest of the Big Ten scoreboard. Purdue upset Indiana today 15-14, and that's the outcome that might open the door for Minnesota to get a bowl bid somewhere. And Illinois leading Northwestern 63-14 in the fourth quarter. GFW and Perham located in the opposite ends of the state. Perham up on Highway 10 just southeast of Detroit Lakes a little bit, and Gibbon-Fairfax-Winthrop just north of New Ulm in the south central part of the state along Highway 19.
Well, you're just a one AAA map guy, aren't you? You know the county roads, the state roads.
I've driven most of them.
And usually go the low road, too. That's maybe we'll get to the high road on the way out of here.
I once drove Highway 19 border to border, Perry. If this game gets to be a blowout, I'll tell that story. That'll put some people to sleep.
Well, hopefully we won't have to hear JG stories the rest of the day as we get ready to start our second half of action here. Class B championship game, GFW against Perham.
You think you got it bad? My wife has to listen to these things. Well, the good news for GFW is they'll be getting the ball here to start the second half, because the very first play of the game, the Thunderbirds kicked it off to Perham, and Charlie Nelson ran it back 91 yards for a touchdown, the longest kickoff return in Prep Bowl history. The previous record-long return, 87 yards by Apple Valley's Chris Sanagustin, who's gone on to be a star at Augustana College in Sioux Falls. He ran back that 87-yarder against Burnsville in 1985. So Charlie Nelson making Prep Bowl history here today. He was an honorable mention All-State selection as a kick returner. Also an outstanding quarterback and safety.
Well, going deep for GFW will be number 32, Matt Miller, number 16, Jamie Meyer. And we talked about Dan Meyer. Well, Vikings used to have a kicker named Dan Meyer, but that was
all one word.
Name.
We've got, it gets confusing. We've got Demings, who are twins for GFW. We have Myers, who play key roles for each team, who are not related at all. We'll keep it sorted out, trust us.
Well, Danny is a 6'2", 202-pound senior, and he has his hand up, and we are ready to start second half action. Our Class B championship game is underway, second half. And the kick taken there by Miller. And Miller cuts it up the field, and he is finally wrestled down at the 30-yard line. And on the play, swarm of tacklers led by Joe Huffman, number 30, who was in on one earlier here today.
Matt Miller got real nice yardage on that return, considering he almost fell down when he caught the ball. We missed it on the camera angle there, but he wound up kind of blocking backwards and almost went down to one knee before he even got started.
Well, there you see Joe Huffman, who, number 30, got a hold of the jersey and was able to hang on, and like Bronco is able to wrestle him down to the ground at the 30-yard line. They'll set it up 1st and 10 out of the I formation. And this is Meyer, the pitch off. It goes to Jeff Deming, and he cuts it and wrestled out of bounds after about a 3-yard gain. On the play, Rick walked.
The second half will be a real test of GFW's endurance as you see Demings run around the right side again. GFW undefeated coming into this game. They've won their games by an average of 36 points. And Chuck Sundin, the Thunderbirds coach, tells me that really he had his starters out of the game before the end of the third quarter in nearly every game. These guys aren't used to playing a full 4 quarters. Now, they're good athletes. They should be able to do it, but we'll see if it affects them at all here as the second half goes on.
Well, the Perham defense have been stingy in the third quarter all year, too. They've given up only 8 points. So the key quarter here. Here's the handoff. It goes to Deming, Jeff Deming. Number 28, he falls forward for a couple, setting up on a 3rd and 5. Kurt Meyer, the 6'2", 182-pound senior left tackle, number 77, in on the stop.
Jeff Deming had 61 yards on 9 carries in the first half, including a nifty 32-yarder. On the season now, Deming gone over the 1,650-yard mark. And he's played in only 12 of the 14 Thunderbird games. He missed the first 2 with a back injury.
That was Matt Miller checking out into the lineup. John Deming with the play call, and he gives it over to Jamie Meyer, the senior quarterback. And they line up again in the wishbone. The up man is Lomka, number 48. And here's the get to the second man through, and that is Jeff Deming. And he is stopped short of the first down by John Gravel. John Gravel, 6'3", 175-pound junior, number 82. Getting some help there.
That'll bring the punt unit on for GFW, and I'll risk sounding like a broken record, but Charlie Nelson is back deep to return for Perham.
Chad Evenson, who had a nice 41-yard boot in the first half, is back again to kick it away for GFW. Nelson and King deep.
Big league hang time.
Nice high punt, the fair catch, taking the fumble, but a early grab there by Matt King.
I think that ball died on Charlie Nelson a little bit.
It was a bit of a floater, and Nelson had the fair catch and went through his arms, but King alertly pounced on it as Perham will take over for their first possession here in the second half, and they trail it by 7. Back with more Class B championship action after this pause.
Imagine the power of a huge snow thrower in the body of a smaller one. Snapper presents its single-stage snow thrower. Lightweight, easy to start, and easy to use. With enough power to throw snow up to 30 feet. This Snapper cleans a 20-inch path with rubber-lined steel augers. And it's built to last with Snapper's long-standing reputation for quality.
Snapper single stage is like you'll find a size that suits you right. It's a snap with the Snapper.
Wanted, a few good men and women. Experience new thrills. Travel to new and exciting places. Meet interesting people. Learn from the masters and have the time of your life.
I'm so excited I can watch.
Get ready, because MASH wants you.
MASH, weeknights at 6 and 10 on Receptive Channel 9.
Well, early here, third quarter, and boy, the Yellow Jackets lucky to maintain possession on the football as Charlie Nelson had a little trouble with that punt.
Let's take a look again as Nelson signals the fair catch. And the ball just came up a little bit shorter than he thought it would. He had no chance to control that ball himself, but he was lucky that the man back there with him, Matt King, was able to squish it. This group of seniors at Perham did not lose a game from the time they were 7th graders through their sophomore year. Last year, when they came up to the varsity, they lost 3 games, and 2 of those were to the eventual Class B state champion Breckenridge. And this year, they've lost only once. This is a group that's known a lot of success in their football careers.
Nelson has the ball, and this is the handoff to Walk. Rick Walk, the junior tailback, is trying to run.
His knee never would hit the ground. He could have stood out there for another week.
Well, let's go down to the floor and Jim Gillen, Gilly.
Well, last time I peeked up at the scoreboard here, it had Minnesota 43 and Iowa 7 in the 4th quarter. And I know that the Perham team has the same school song as the Gophers, so I'm expecting them to turn it around here on this possession. It must be a day for people with that song. Back upstairs.
Hey, Gilly Manoman had that song too, and they lost, okay?
Well, he cut his microphone. No comment from Gilly. Here's Charlie Nelson now. He's back to pass. Has to scramble. Big shakeout. He's in trouble, and he improvises nicely, and there's a wipe out along the sideline, but Charlie Nelson ends up picking up a couple yards in that play.
Jeff Deming for GFW rushing up quickly from that right end position to force the issue.
And Kenny Liebel was there as well, the right tackle on defense.
See, nobody blocked Deming, so he had a clear shot at Charlie Nelson.
Great footwork there, and he got back actually just beyond the initial line of scrimmage. So this is a 3rd, and we're going to make it 9.
That play could have easily lost 5. Charlie Nelson with a good bit of juking there and fancy footwork to keep Perham from a big loss.
So here it is, 3rd and 9, passing situation. They have the I formation to keep the backs in, and on the blitz is Deming, and he throws Nelson for the loss. Jeff Deming on the blitz, and he had help from his brother John on the other side of the line as they both came roaring through for the big sack and forced a 4th down situation.
2 differences that time from the previous play. 1, Deming was coming hard all the way. 2, Nelson didn't drop back as far. And as a result, he got no place to hide when John Deming was breathing down his neck.
Well, the up-back...
Sorry, that was Jeff who made the sack. Jeff Deming.
Well, you got these Minnesota Twins, and it's up to...
I got twins at home. I can't tell them apart either. It's disgusting. Low snap. Beeger just gets it off and gets creamed as he does.
Gravel, and that, of course, would be roughing the kicker as Gravel just got hammered as he got the kick off, and we'll see what the officials call, and all the Yellow Jacket players are applauding. So,
well, you're right, that was John Gravel punting. I called Ross Beeger because he's the regular punter for the Yellow Jackets, but
we saw Ross Beeger kind of hobble off after a play earlier, and we've not seen him of late, so we'll have to look at that situation. But there you see one player go down, and we will take a break with 8:16 remaining 3rd quarter. It's still 14-7. GFW on top of the Yellow Jackets.
Sometimes
you can tell by the way it looks. Sometimes you can tell by the way it feels. Sometimes it comes to you in broad daylight. Sometimes you find it in the middle of the night. But you know when you got the right one. This is the right one. You know when you got the right.
Do you remember one special long ago Christmas gift? A gift you've never forgotten. An electric train that spewed real smoke. A doll that could cry real tears. And every time you think of it, you remember the person who gave it to you. Because your happiness was the only gift they wanted. Give them something to remember. Rosedale.
Well, back with a Class B championship game at the Metrodome on this last Saturday of November, Prep Bowl 8. And we got a good one going for you. It's 14-7 GFW with a couple touchdowns in the second quarter. Take the lead over the Yellow Jackets from Perham, and head coach Fred Saylor talking to his quarterback Charlie Nelson on the roughing the punter penalty. They have new life. They will have first down at their 37-yard line. John Gravel was the punter on that situation, as Ross Beeger we have not seen of late. He went out with an injury earlier in the first half. And then motion is drawn as they have the eye backfield, and the give is to Walk. Walk falls forward for a couple of yards. And he's brought down by John Deming.
Had a chance to visit with Perham coach Fred Saylor yesterday and asked him at that time what he thought the key to this game here would be.
Whether or not we're going to be able to hold up physically against this outfit. They're very big and much bigger than we are, and I think their speed is probably comparable. Real important for us to cut down on mistakes. We can't afford to be coughing the ball up, and we can't afford to be having a lot of unnecessary penalties.
Well, the Yellow Jackets have not turned the ball over today, and they've held up well physically through 2.5 quarters.
Now they have the reverse, the double reverse. And this is Joe Huffman, and he is still on his feet. And finally knocked out of bounds at the 49-yard line by Brian Lobka.
A good bit of running for the 5'10 sophomore, Joe Hoffman. Most people would have been brought down by that tackle around the numbers. Let's look at the reverse again.
They have the inside reverse to Braun, and he hands off to Hoffman, who comes around the left side. Couple of blockers in front of him. He turns it up and picks up a nice gain and a first down all the way to the 48-yard line and inside Thunderbird territory.
Matt Miller, number 32, a real strong kid for GFW, had the shot at the tackle and wasn't able to finish him off. Give the Yellow Jackets another first down.
Well, Hoffman has done the job in special teams. That time he gets to be part of the offense for the Yellow Jackets. High formation this time. Rolling right is Nelson. Nelson still trying to cut. He's scrambling back now to the near sideline. And he is going to pick up some yardage. Charlie Nelson to the 40, to the 35, and finally driven out of bounds at the 29-yard line by Matt Miller.
That's the kind of player Charlie Nelson. He's at his best when there's 21 other guys on the field who are chasing him.
And we have a player down at the way back at the 40-yard line. That's Aaron Drummond, the right tackle. So he probably went 100 yards and picked up about 20 on the play.
Drummond just threw his helmet to the ground, ripped it off, and it almost shattered. I think that's a combination of pain, extreme pain, and disgust. This is the game he doesn't want to miss. But he is not in very good shape right now.
Well, Charlie Nelson, by the way, as we mentioned, has 42 yards rushing now in the game. He had over 900 on the season.
Look at Charlie go right, then just stops and changes direction completely. Comes around the other way, and here goes the mad chase. And with speed like that in the open field, there aren't an awful lot of guys who are going to be able to catch Mr. Nelson.
Plus, when you have an aggressive defense, everybody is pursuing. That time they perhaps over-pursued, and Charlie turned it up for a nice gain all the way to the 29-yard line, a gain of 20. Now it's 49 on 42 in the game. We'll take a break with GFW up by 7.
Everybody knows that milk's for babies, charming, disarming, whatever they do. Everybody knows that milk's for babies. Wouldn't you know it, baby? Milk's for you. Soft baby skin, strong baby bone, a bright baby smile, and food
If you're still looking for the perfect present for those last few on your holiday shopping list, there's one gift they'll appreciate every day of the year. These great calendars.
The beautiful Monet Masterworks calendar. The teddy bear calendar features stuffed animals. The 365 New Words a Year calendar. The Norman Rockwell calendar has charming illustrations. Sports Illustrated's popular swimsuit calendar and the Sierra Club Wilderness Wall calendar at B. Dalton Bookseller.
You can call me Books.
Aaron Drummond, who is a cornerstone of that offensive line from Perham, 6'3", 228 junior. Great blocker. There you see him, fortunately. His day over, probably.
We'll get a look at it here on the left side of the screen. You'll see Drummond come into play, and he winds up just, boom, collapsing on that right knee. He's a big kid, weighs 228 pounds, and I think that knee bore the brunt of it.
So what a great competitor he is. He took his helmet and just threw it to the ground in disgust. I think he knew right away that
his day was going to be done.
His day was done. Nevertheless, we'll pick it up with 1st and 10 on the 29-yard line as the Yellow Jackets, who had new life thanks to that roughing the punter penalty, have marched it down the field and are trying to move in for the tying touchdown.
Perham has not scored since the game-opening kickoff return for a touchdown by their quarterback, Charlie Nelson.
And the notion is Brown, and Nelson back, the deep handoff. It goes to King. King powers his way down to the 23-yard line. Tackled by Eddie Magus. Eddie Magus is in there.
Here comes the play to the left side. King thinking quickly on his feet there, picking probably the best hold. There just wasn't a whole lot he could do with it. Don't forget, after today's game, we'll be picking our offensive and defensive players of the game. It's sponsored by the American Dairy Association, Minnesota Dairy Promotion Council.
So it's a 2nd and 5, a gain and 5 in that play, and a lot of candidates for our MVP awards and flags down everywhere. That could be what, delay or a little movement?
I'll be honest with you, Kerry, I can't be sure until we see it.
No, illegal. Legal procedure. So that will set him back 5 yards, back to the 29, instead of a 2nd and 10 situation.
This is Perham's best scoring opportunity from scrimmage of the day. They had a hard time moving the ball in that first half, just 69 net yards against the Thunderbirds defense.
Well, Thunderbirds have not given up a point in the not only second quarter, that record is intact for the year, in the third quarter as well. And they are trying to keep the Yellow Jackets out of the end zone this time around.
In fact, of the 72 points that GFW gave up on the season, 59 of them came on in the fourth quarter, and virtually all of those against the 2nd and 3rd unit defenses after GFW rolled up big leads.
Well, here's
sorry, Jerry.
Charlie Nelson, and then the fake handoff to the inside Brown, and Nelson back and scrambling again. This time he puts it up and wide open and knocked away at the last second. And a flag is down, but what they will call offensive interference.
Wow, that was a bad one.
Number 13, Aaron Meyer.
Aaron Meyer and Shane Zellman were just duking it out down in the end zone.
And Matt Miller was there, and there was a lot of pushing and shoving. The ball was hanging up there, and Aaron Meyer pushed off, said the referee.
Nelson, throwing on the run, got pretty good zip on the ball, all things considered. If he'd thrown it a little farther, he would have had the touchdown. As it was, Meyer had to come back on the ball and call for the offensive interference.
Matt Miller, number 32, the left cornerback, and costly penalty, so they had the 5 yards for illegal procedure. Now a big 15-yard penalty marched off to make it 2nd and 25 all the way back to the 44.
We mentioned in the first half that Perham's kicker, Dan Meyer, has pretty good range for a high schooler. He's got a long of 38 yards on the season. If Perham can get down to about the GFW 20, they've got a chance to get 3 points, but they're trailing by 7.
Check that. It's 3rd and 25. And here's Nelson again. This time he pitches off outside. This is King. King trying to break him loose. He is in the open. And finally driven out of bounds. Or check that as Rick Walk. Driven out of bounds by Brian Lopka.
Number 30, Rich Bussey, had a shot at King near the line of scrimmage for GFW. But King, with a classic stiff arm, was able to keep on his feet. Here's the pitch. Boom. Here comes Bussey. King goes boom, in your face, see you later.
That's Rick Walk. We should check that. The junior tailback. He's 25, King 23. Sometimes up here those numbers start blurring after a few games. Now on 4th down, they're in the 4th down territory, and they were going to call a timeout. and talk over what they want to do. Now, we speculated earlier about the kicking of Dan Meyer. That would be a 42-yarder.
At this point in the game, Perry, with 5:31 yet to play in the third quarter, I think they're doing the right thing to go for it. I think what Charlie Nelson wanted to do, you'll notice he didn't even go behind the center. He just wanted to come out and see what kind of defense GFW was going to show on 4th and 6, then get together with head coach Fred Saylor and try to decide how to take advantage of it.
I'll give the chance for all the players to get a
Stop
quick
and cool
breather.
off. Here's something about Charlie Nelson for you, too, Perry. We've talked about his abilities as a kick returner, as a quarterback, as a defensive player. He also holds the school record for longest field goal, a 42-yarder against Pelican Rapids earlier this season. It's the only field goal even tried this year, Charlie Nelson. They've taken him out of the kick routine, and they've got Dan Meyer doing it regularly, but just another of Charlie Nelson's many talents.
Well, of course, we're happy on KMSP this year. They have the North Stars for the entire season, and our next hockey game with Doug McLeod and Tommy Reed will be Thursday. The Minnesota North Stars against the defending Stanley Cup champion Calgary Flames. Joel Otto and company. Joe Newendike, all the rest of the crew will be up there, and I know you've had fun doing the radio work from the North Stars this year with Al and Tommy Reed.
The North Stars with the best record in the NHL, 31 points. They're on top of the whole thing right now.
Well, here we go, 4th and 6. Here's Nelson looking back to throw, in trouble again. Charlie Nelson, and it's picked off by Jamie Meyer. Jamie Meyer, big 4th down interception, and the ball goes back over to the Thunderbirds. That is the first turnover of the ball game.
Don Braun was double covered on that play for Perham, number 2, and had it not been 4th down, Charlie Nelson would have been very ill-advised to even attempt that pass, but since it was 4th down, they would have lost the ball on downs anyway. Had he run out of bounds or been sacked, you might as well give it a try. And as you see here, Charlie underthrew the ball considerably, kind of going off the back foot. And Jamie Meyer, the quarterback who doubles as a D-back for GFW, comes up with the interception to give the Thunderbirds the ball on their 25-yard line.
They had the play action to Matt King, number 23, is underthrown a bit, and the offense will take over for the Thunderbirds. And they're in the wishbone again. This time it's number 32, Matt Miller, into the open. And he picks up about 7 yards, and Braun on the stop for the Yellow Jackets.
GFW leading this game 14-7. A scoring drive achieved on the ground here that would chew up a lot of clock and make it very difficult for Perham to come back. The Yellow Jackets have not scored from scrimmage today. Their touchdown came on a game-opening kickoff return by quarterback Charlie Nelson.
Back in the lineup is John Deming with the play, number 32. 36, 32, Matt Miller checks out. Gain of 7, it's 2nd and 3 from the 33. Out of the I formation, here's Meyer, the handoff to Deming, Jeff Deming. He busts his way to the 43-yard line. And once again, it's the linebacker, Don Braun, who's played outstanding defense so far today on the stop. But not before a pickup of 10 and a first down for the Thunderbirds.
Here's Deming on the delay with lots of room to run.
Great blocking up front to open up a hole like that.
Interesting story for Chuck Sundin, the GFW coach. He had done some scouting for Gaylord back in the 70s when Gaylord won 4 state championships, and this year, Gaylord coach Dave Main did the scouting for him.
Meyer once again out of the wishbone. He still has the ball. Good defensive effort there, and Meyer showing a little scrambling ability of his own, and finally he falls down at the 40 for a loss of 2. Nice defensive effort by John Gravel and the entire Perm defense. Saw a bit of the scrambling ability of Jamie Meyer there.
Now watch Meyer rolling here. Boom. There's the first shot at him.
Another one.
That Mike Kavaleski got. Kavaleski gets another shot, and he gets up, and he's still able to make the tackle. Number 52, Mike Kavaleski, with 3rd effort on that play to help bring Meyer down for a loss. Down to 3:13 and counting to play in quarter number 3.
So it's 2nd and 12 on the 40-yard line. Out of the wishbone, they will run it. Meyer the handoff, nothing going there for a loss of 1 as Kurt Meyer came busting through and stopped Jeff Deming for a loss.
It'll be 3rd and long. GFW coming back after getting to the section championship game last year, and I think they had an idea all along, according to Chuck Sundin, that they could go to the Prep Bowl. Here's what Chuck had to say about it.
And from day one, we said, hey, you know, look, when the 25th of November rolls around, 2 teams are going to be there, and why can't we be one of them? And I think the savvy that the veterans have shown on this ball club and the ability that we have. We've got 23 good seniors, and I think a combination of dedication, good veteran quality, good hard work has brought the kids this far.
Pass intercepted by Luke Kruger for Perham, but 2 flags down, Perry. One coming from the offensive side of the play, one coming from the defensive side.
Well, we'll see what the officials will sort out here. Flags everywhere.
Offensive holding was clearly the first flag.
And Kruger with the interception there, number 81.
It's been declined. It's Perham's ball on the interception. That's our first turnover of the game. There's the flag. Correction, that is the second turnover in this game.
Well, we're talking about turnovers, and now we've had back-to-back of sorts. We had the interception by Meyer at the other end, and Luke Kruger, number 81, who was filling in for Ross Beaker.
Luke Kruger, a 6'3 junior, gives Perham excellent field position at the GFW 45-yard line. The Thunderbirds leading the Yellow Jackets 14-7 with just over 2 minutes to play here in the third quarter of our Class B state championship game at the Metro Ball.
Well, here's Charlie Nelson. Boy, we've called his name a little bit today. This guy can do it all. A deuce backfield. The handoff to Walk. Is spinning and churning his way down to the 37-yard line. Rich Bussey on the stop, number 30.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that Perham had thrown an interception on that last series because they were going to get the ball up on downs anyway. Straight ahead power football here. Perham doesn't do a lot of fancy stuff except when Charlie Nelson is freelancing, but they do the basics very, very well.
Well, they
setting up a 3rd and 3.
They had 4 backs that went over 395 yards or more rushing. And 2nd and 3 at the 37, and this time the give is to Tater. John Tater, who quietly is trying to make his presence known here in the championship game, picks up the first down. Lopka and Pettis making the stop defensively for the Thunderbirds as they're down to the 33-yard line and 118 and running here in the third quarter.
Tater's a pretty tough kid. He's got some big men on his back there and able to carry him for another 4 yards. First and 10 Perham from the 33.
And here's Nelson to pitch off a fumble, loose football, and it is recovered by Kenny Liebel. Ken Liebel, the right tackle, literally bounces on the loose football, and the Thunderbirds take over. So after an error-free first half, we have had 3 consecutive turnovers here in the third quarter.
Charlie Nelson's a quality quarterback because he makes good decisions running the option, but this one was a little questionable. Falling backwards, he wasn't able to put the pitch where he wanted it to. His running back not able to get the ball anywhere near him. And GFW has no problem recovering that one.
Charlie slipping somewhat on the turf here at the Dome, and no doubt help contribute to the turnover as GFW will take it over. And out of the I formation. Deep man is Jeff Deming, and Deming powers his way forward for a gain of about 4.
We'll have maybe one more play here in this third quarter. GFW leading Perham 14-7. Down to 15 seconds and running.
Now John Deming and Matt Miller are shuttling the plays in for GFW and head coach Chuck Sundin.
Scott Meyer and Jeff Deming scored the Thunderbirds touchdowns in the first half. Meyer on a 12-yard run, Deming on a 1-yard run, and that's the end of quarter number 3.
So 3 of 4 in the book of this Class B championship game, and nobody scored in that third quarter, but a lot of action and a lot of drama and action coming up, no doubt, in the fourth quarter, as we will have that fourth quarter action for you after this. It's Gibbon-Fairfax-Winthrop 14, Perham 7 after 3.
Sometimes you can tell by the way it looks. Sometimes you can tell by the way it feels. Sometimes it comes to you in broad daylight. Sometimes you find it in the middle of the night. But you know when you got the right one. This is the right one. You know when you got the right.
Some radio stations have a strange idea of classic rock and roll.
Sugar.
But 92 KQRS is Minnesota's home of rock and roll. Some stations play the same songs over and over and over. On KQ92, you get real variety. For classic rock and the cream of the new stuff, too. Compare. Their playlist, our playlist. Minnesota's home of rock and roll. 92 KQRS. Lock it in.
Terry Williams, J.G. Preston, and our other J.G., Jim Gelman, down on the Metrodome floor, and Tom McLeod resting those golden tones. And there is the back in the lineup, I guess surprisingly, is Aaron Drummond. We saw him go on in the third quarter, look like a pretty serious knee sprain or some type of knee injury, but they iced it on the sidelines and on the bench, and he's back in.
I got to believe he's playing on sheer will at this point. Nice do. GFW.
Probably have had that for quite some time. I think that's a trendsetter, and we expect you to get a similar one at the end of the day.
Harry,
JG
you first, buddy. Here we go on 2nd and 6 from the GFW 44.
Fourth quarter action, the pitch. Meyer, they go wide. It's Deming again. And Deming, Jeff Deming on the far sideline, cuts it back for a nice gain all the way down to the 35-yard line. And Charlie Nelson made the touchdown-saving tackle.
That also a very dangerous pitch by Meyer, just as the pitch was by Nelson on the preceding play. The difference here is that Meyer's fully on his feet and able to get a little more oomph on the pitch. Then Deming has a chance to show his stuff in the open field.
Well, Jeff Deming now has 97 yards rushing for the game. And they're in business, 1st and 10 at the 35.
He's moving up on the 1,700-yard mark for the season.
Here we go again, and it's Amy Meyer, 1st and 10 from the 35. Here's the pitch, the fake reverse, and it's Jeff Deming. He's over the 100-yard mark. And he is stopped cold by John Tater. And not before, he picked up about 3, and that ought to put him at the century mark for the game.
Nice concept on this play, the fake reverse. And Deming with a nifty hurdle there. And then boom,
nice
put down.
stick by John Tater, the senior linebacker. Let's go downstairs to Jim Gillen. Gillen?
Well, you mentioned Aaron Drummond a moment ago, and that is courageous to see him back in there. He had tears in his eyes. That was quite a painful twist of the knee that he took some time ago. Now, as for Ross Beeger, the punter who went out of the game earlier, he will not be back. He is over on the far sideline with his gear off and his shoulder wrapped, a probable separated shoulder, according to Dr. Leo Morozic, who is over there attending to the 2 players. But Drummond had enough courage and was given the medical okay to re-enter the ballgame. Back upstairs.
Well, thanks for that medical update. Our match reporter, Jim Gilliland. And there you see Matt Miller picking up about 8. Check that, about 6 yards on that play. It sets up a 3rd and 2 on the 27th. And checking back in with the play is John Deming. We start the 4th quarter with 10 minutes remaining in regulation, 14-7. As GFW maintaining that lead, and the flags go down.
Too much time, I got to think that one.
Yep. Delay a game. So march off 5 instead of a 3rd and 7 situation.
Jeff Deming for Gibbon-Fairfax-Winthrop, the first back here in the prep bowl this year to go over the 100-yard mark rushing. Brad Leffler of St. Clair, which won the 9-man championship game, stopped at 99. Leffler, kind of the offensive player of the day so far, scored 3 touchdowns, 2 on runs, and 1 recovering a block punt in the end zone as St. Clair beat Albrook handily by a score of 47-12.
Plus, he also threw a touchdown pass on the halfback option.
Forgotten about that one. You're right, that was a nifty play. 3rd and 7 from the 32 of Perham for GFW as they try to extend this 14-7 lead.
Well, a test here for the Perham defense. And here they come on the blitz. And the raw, and the give to Deming, Jeff Deming. He's all the way down to the 20, picks up the 1st down. It was 3rd and long. They give it to Deming, and he just powers his way and finally brought down by Braun.
You won't find a whole lot of 185-pound backs like Jeff Deming who have that kind of balance. Watch this as he's literally running on 1 foot most of the way. He's alternating, having virtually his entire weight balanced on 1 foot. That's a tough act to do.
He's almost like a top. He's just spinning his way on alternate feet. And he got it all the way down to the 20-yard line, and they set him again in the wishbone, and the give now is to Deming again, and he is down to the 8-yard line. Jeff Deming finding the hole on the right side. John Tater finally hauled him down but it'll be first and goal to goal from the 8.5-yard line.
This could be what Perham coach Fred Saylor had feared, that GFW would physically wear the Yellow Jackets down by the fourth quarter. But they're moving the ball on the ground very, very well right now, getting good blocking up front and real good effort from their backs, especially number 28, Jeff Deming.
Well, Jeff Deming, the senior left halfback, is doing it all here today in the semifinals. He scored a couple of touchdowns of 8 and 4 yards out, had 138 yards on the ground. He's over 100 for today. Here's Deming again on the right side, and he powers his way down to the 4. And that right side of the offensive line really doing a number there. Matt Pettis, John Bubolt, and Tater with the stop once again. But you have to give credit where credit is due, and that is on the men up front in the trenches, where these games usually are won and lost.
With 8:39 and counting to play here in the fourth quarter, a GFW touchdown would give the Thunderbirds almost a lock on their first state championship. Perham's got the offensive horses, but they've not been able to score a touchdown from scrimmage today, and unless Charlie Nelson's able to break a kickoff return, they'd have a tough road to hoe.
Well, it's been all power football here. This time they go inside, or outside the pitch rather, to John Deming, and he is smacked down to the 4. Good defensive pursuit there by the Perham defense, and host of tacklers in on the play. Chad Hootmacher.
Flag went down on early on that play. That was terrific execution by both the quarterback Meyer and the first man through, Jeff Deming. Well, that's completely faked up.
They may back them up a little bit here and go ahead and take the penalty if it's a significant one to get them away from that goal line. They're talking it over. And let's see what the call was. No, illegal motion.
They'll go ahead and take the 5-yard penalty to move the ball back to the 9-yard line. It'll still be second and goal.
But back at the 9.
I couldn't see from the replay, Perry, what the motion was. Well, it must have been outside. We just had the middle 5 linemen there and the backfield. It must have happened on the outside.
Everything looked clean on our replay, but the officials are right there.
This is an official timeout, and I'm not quite sure why, to tell you the truth. I see the referee back with the GFW hub.
Maybe they needed a rest. The officials needed a break themselves. Boy, they've done a great job here today.
Our officiating crew is from the St. Cloud area. John Leeser of St. Cloud, Bob Waxlax of St. Cloud, Gary Putz of St. Joseph, Mike Spanier of Sartell.
There's Dorothy McIntyre earlier talking about the officiating and what an honor it is for that crew. And the give up the middle, and it's a touchdown for Jeff Deming. A little delayed draw to Deming, and he has scored a touchdown, and it's now 20-7. The Thunderbirds roaring in front.
A play that had all the appearance of being a power sweep to the right, and Deming put on the acceleration and cut through the hole in the middle. See that line pulling out, and boom, lots of room for Deming. He scores his second touchdown of the afternoon. What a day he's having.
Well, they had all the defensive flow to the right and to the left. That left the middle wide open, and Deming found his way into the end zone for the score. You know, he missed the first 2 games of the season because of a back injury, but boy, he is back in a big way.
And here's brother John Deming to attempt the extra point kick. And he's perfect today, 3 for 3. And with 7:48 to play in the fourth quarter, that gives Gibbon-Fairfax-Winthrop a 21-7 lead over Perham as our Prep Bowl 8 coverage continues from the Metrodome.
Of all the people on this planet, we Americans enjoy a unique distinction. Year after year, we spend only 14% of our income on food. That's less than virtually anyone else spends in the free world. And because we spend less on food, we have more money for the little luxuries of life. Brought to you on behalf of the American farmer by the makers of Dual Herbicide.
She was a child, hungry and poor. She was a girl, married and pregnant. She was a woman, loved and cheated on. She became a singer because it was the only thing she could do. She became a star because it was the only way she could do it. Sissy Spacek, Tommy Lee Jones, coal miner's daughter.
Monday night at 7 on Receptive Channel 9.
A whole lot of hooping and hollering going here for our Class B championship game. Everybody waving to J.G. Preston.
Somehow I didn't think they were aimed at me, Perry.
21-7, GFW goes in front here with a fourth quarter touchdown. And kicking off will be John Deming, and these will be Charlie Nelson and Matt King. Missed it earlier. Nelson took the opening kickoff 90 or so yards for a touchdown to open the game. And no doubt they'll try to keep it away from him once again. Indeed, this time they kick the King. We'll see what kind of reverse Zanny is on. No, they faked the reverse, and he is met with a nail there by number 42, Travis Evenson.
Travis Evenson, just a 155-pound sophomore, made a big-time hit on that play. Who are those guys standing next to Gilliland, Perry?
I don't know if they're any relation or not, but we will check out shortly.
I can't wait to hear about that.
Here's this reverse, a fake reverse again, and this time King comes around. But watch Travis Evenson, number 42, with a real pop there. Helped out by number 86, Tim Schweiss.
Just 7:30 to play in the game. Perham down 2 touchdowns, and they've got 90 yards to go to get one of them.
So the ball is on their own 10-yard line. They got a lot of work to do, but this is a team that is used to dramatic finishes, as they witnessed with victories over De La Salle and over Deer River. Here's Charlie Nelson looking for something further. He goes long and wide open. Number 43.
John Tater, a 90-yard touchdown play.
He was wide open. There was no one within 20 yards of him.
I saw Tater open, Perry. I didn't think Charlie Nelson had the arm to get him the ball. But he found him with room to spare.
But John Tater, the 5'10 senior, was all alone. And the big play offense comes through for the Perham Yellow Jackets. Let's watch it again.
Here it comes.
There you see Nelson looking and looking. Finally, he spots his man, and he throws it long and right on the button.
The whole flow of the play was left. All the other Yellow Jacket receivers were approaching the left sideline at that point. Tater kind of snuck up on the backside. Nobody near him. They didn't think they had to cover him. But Nelson found a way to get him the ball, and that 90-yard touchdown play, the longest play from scrimmage in Prep Bowl history. Flag is down for too much time, I believe, as Dan Meyer gets ready to kick the extra point for Perham.
Now this
well, GFW lined up offside apparently.
Well, they'll mark it half the distance to the 1.5-yard line.
Strikes me as strange since the ball wasn't snapped.
Yeah, bit of a surprise too, but nevertheless, the officials are right on the spot.
And now Perham wants timeout. They may well decide to go for 2 on this. They trailed 21-13 with 6:58 to play. Perham's done it with long, big plays. And let's take a look at that 90-yard touchdown pass from Nelson to Tater once again. Nelson has rolled left. Now he was standing on his 3-yard line when he let go of that thing. Tater caught it on his 43, 40 yards in the air, throwing against his body. That's an impressive accomplishment.
And there's nobody around him. It took us a while to realize that it was John Tater because we were so surprised that someone could be that wide open.
Tater's got nice wheels for a wrestler. Rich Bussey, number 30 for GFW, made a run at him. But Tater wasn't going to be caught on that play. A 91-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, a 90-yard pass play for a touchdown, both the longest plays of their type in the 8 years of Prep Bowl history. And Perham now, with more than half the fourth quarter to go, has put itself very much back in this ballgame.
Well, that's offside penalty. Moved the ball half the distance. And Charlie Nelson is in from the bench.
And clearly with 1.5 yards to go for the 2-point conversion instead of 3 yards. Down here, that makes a big difference. And Perham's rethought. Instead of going for 1, they're going to go for 2.
Okay, Rick Walk is deep. The up man is Tater, who scored the touchdown. Here's Nelson. Nelson is in for the 2-point conversion.
Nice run.
And that makes it 21-15. So Perham, with a big play, 90-yard touchdown pass, converts the 2-point conversion, and they are within 6 with plenty of time. 6:58 remaining here in regulation time.
Charlie Nelson shows a lot of cool on this conversion run. Doesn't panic at all. There's a lot of bodies around there. He could have pitched then, saw the hole, and had the athletic ability to take advantage of it and put Perham within 6 points. Now a touchdown and an extra point kick from Mr. Clutch Dan Meyer, and Perham's got the lead.
Well, button your seatbelt because we have an exciting 6:58 to go as we will return with our Class B championship game. And it is a doozy. It's 21-15, GFW over Perham.
Nobody takes to the trails like the Safari Series from Skidoo. Nobody. New independent front suspension makes moguls disappear. New wider skis mean stability and handling. New styling is wind tunnel tested. The newest feature of all, the all-new Safari LC. Liquid-cooled power, heated handlebars, the ultimate in trail performance and comfort. When you take to the trail, take a Safari by Skidoo.
Call 1-800-477-7000 for your nearest Skidoo dealer.
Late in the 20th century, terminal boredom fell upon the land. The maker looked down and said, "This is not good." And so it was. He brought forth Genesis, a system with twice the power, twice the challenge, twice the fun, with high-definition graphics and stereo sound. And the maker saw what he had done and said, "Now that's not bad." Discover Genesis, and your world will never be the same.
Oh, an exciting play. Perham scores the touchdown. Dan Meyer kicking off and deep for GFW will be Jamie Meyer, number 16, and Matt Miller, number 32. 6:58 remaining regulation time. It's 21-15.
Too early to think onside kick, I would think, but I don't think they're going to kick it high and deep either. Well, then again, they might.
And then again, they do. This is Meyer, cuts back to the left side, and he will scramble down to the far side. Jamie Meyer, and he may go all the way. Meyer to the 50, to the 48-yard line, thrown out of bounds at the 46.
About a 38-yard return from Jamie Meyer, and that's the most impressive sound I've heard at the Dome today. The collective ooh of that crowd as Jamie Meyer reversed field and was able to find the big yardage on the right side. Watch this. First, Meyer comes to the left. Chugging right along, la-di-da, no place to go. Well, why stop there? Does a complete 180 and goes the other way, and all of a sudden the guys in the white shirts are chasing him halfway across the field.
He seemed to have a blocker in front of him, but then it was Scott Conley, number 24, who was able to finally drive him out of bounds at the 48.
The GFW in Perham territory. The lead cut to 6.
Now we'll see what their ground attack can do. This is the senior Deming who scored last time they had the football. Jason Norris, number 71, the safety man, making the stop for no gain. Let's go down to Jim Gillen, who has some of his close friends. Gilly?
Well, it's the cold and flu season, so you got to watch yourself. And this is a particular medical alert. We want you to watch out for something called Thunderbird fever. Now, these guys are afflicted with it, and who knows if there's any hope for them. This is a strange condition. You can see you get orange and yellow stuff all over your skin. And how you come about this, I don't know. Maybe we'll have these guys introduce themselves quickly.
Corey Schmidt, Winthrop. Scott Van Duce, Lafayette. Steve Nelson, Lafayette.
They have relatives, of course, in the Gibbon-Fairfax-Winthrop Ball Club. So far as we know, this medical alert does not include the Twin Cities metropolitan area. It's just right now confined to the southwest corner of the state. But there have been some reports of some contagious observations today around the Metrodome area. So we'll have to watch out for it. Back up to you guys.
Gilly, you're the next one to get it, I can tell you that.
I think maybe you already had it. I tell you, but please, we urge you not to call your relatives.
3rd and 5 coming for GFW from the Perham 42.
And out of the wishbone they go. Danny Meyer, the quarterback, he drops off. And a little screen pass, and it's taken there by Lanka, but actually they wave it off.
A lot of pressure by number 25, Rick Walk, in the face of Jamie Meyer.
Well, that was a screen pass that was not completed, so it'll be 4th and 5, and they will punt it away. As they try to set up the screen, good pressure here, as the screen should, but they just not get it enough on it before the ball dropped to the ground, incomplete, setting up the 4th and 5 at the 42.
Meyer had to throw that on the run off the back foot, but had he got something on that ball, Brian Lampton could have rambled quite a ways. Charlie Nelson's on the far side of the 2 returners deep.
Chad Evenson will kick it away. Pretty good foot. This is Matt Key, number 23. He goes to the far sideline, and he tries to find some running room. Runs into traffic, and he's really popped there by Deming. Jeff Deming, number 28.
Charlie Nelson, on top of everything else, threw a halfway decent block on Eddie Magus on that play.
And there's flags everywhere around the field. There was some confusion on the Yellow Jackets return team of getting their players on the field. Now, there could be a situation when they had too many. We will have to see what the call is. This would be could be a costly penalty.
That was the indication, Jerry. It was too many men on the field for him.
Well, that is indeed a costly penalty. Too many men on the field, and it will be an automatic first down for the Gibbon-Fairfax-Winthrop club.
That's a tough one to swallow, because Perham had the ball back with 5 minutes to go, trailing by 6.
And it's a big one, too, JG, a 15-yarder. And there was indeed the confusion on that punt return team. There are players everywhere, and Evenson was able to get the punt off.
So GFW down to the Perham 27-yard line. They lead 21-15. And the Thunderbirds can get in the end zone and virtually clinch this state championship if they can get these last 27 yards.
Look how deep their huddle was to where the ball was. They had to run an extra 10 yards. Jimmy Meyer over the ball, out of the wishbone. Gives it a second man through. And this is number 32, Matt Miller. Matt Miller, they score. What a run. There are no flags. A touchdown, Thunderbirds. So you talk costly that too many men on the field gave that second life, and Matt Miller takes it in for the score from 27 yards out.
Jeff Deming has shown us some running ability today, but you're not going to see too many that are comparable to this Matt Miller run. Well, look at this now. Miller gets the ball. He gets back just past the line of scrimmage. Boom. He gets hit there. Boom. He gets hit there. Boom. He gets hit there. Now he's falling. Now he gets up. Boom. And the tackle missed there. And that's a 27-yard touchdown run by Matt Miller. And here's John Deming to kick the extra point that will put GFW up by 13 with 4:38 to play. That kick is blocked, and in high school that ball is not in play. In college that can be recovered and advanced. The defensive team can score, but not in high school. And GFW leads it 27-15.
And Braun was there alertly. He would have picked it up and gone all the way, I think, with a loose ball. But nevertheless, GFW comes back, takes advantage of a costly penalty, and they find the end zone to up that lead once again. It's 27-15, 4:38 remaining here at Prep Bowl 8.
Sometimes you can tell by the way it looks. Sometimes you can tell by the way it feels. Sometimes it comes to you in broad daylight. Sometimes you find it in the middle of the night. But you know when you got the right one. This is the right one. You know when you got the right.
Before I bought my Toyota Camry, I really did my research. I rented a different car every weekend, and I test drove each one.
He drove by in a different car every week.
Every weekend, a new car, never satisfied.
Camry was the best. It won hands down.
He's been driving the same one for a while now.
Mr. Rockefeller must have run out of money.
I love what you do for me, Toyota.
Well, specialty teams have been a key factor in the game today. The opening kickoff run back for the Yellow Jackets. We had the roughing the punter. We've had the too many men on the field on a punt return. So they've been a key factor here this afternoon, our Class B championship game, and we'll see what transpires here. John Deming kicking off again for the Thunderbirds. And deep once again, watch Charlie Nelson, number 11, and Matt King. They've been doing these reverse and fake reverses all day long. Now this is Nelson, and he has trouble with the football, picks it up, and finally he is brought down. You always hesitate to say whether he'll be brought down or not, the way he can scoot around that football field. Travis Evenson, once again, the special team tackler for Gibbon-Fairfax-Winthrop on the play.
Not quite sure what Nelson could have made on this play had he fielded the ball cleanly, but once he had no chance of gaining any real momentum, he had a difficult time even getting as far as he did.
Well, they will set up their offense with 4:23 and counting here in regulation time. They trail 27-15, down by 12. First and 10 on the 24.
Keep in mind, Perham can strike quickly. A 90-yard touchdown pass on their last play from scrimmage.
Here's Nelson again, intended for Braun. Ball's incomplete. That was Huffman, Joe Huffman on the play, number 30, covering. Or rather, Rich Bussey. Robert Jensen has checked in the lineup.
Perham has had a success passing the ball during the season because the run sets up the pass. They run so much that they're able to strike deep when they do throw the ball, and they're able to average, well, something close to 20 yards of completion.
There's Rich Bussey. He's had 6 interceptions on the regular season. He'll be back next year. He's only a junior.
Let's see what Perham can do now in what's an obvious must-pass situation, trailing by 12 with 4 minutes to play.
Well, let's see what Nelson can cook up here. He's scrambling again, puts it up and throws out of bounds. The closest receiver in the vicinity was Don Braun.
Boy, lots of pressure there. Jeff Deming, number 28, and Clint Schmidt, the Undertaker, number 66, right in the face of Charlie Nelson.
They've done a pretty good job with the Undertaker here in the second half. We haven't
not
heard
had
much
occasion
about
to
him.
call his name very often.
No.
3rd and 10 Perham from the 24.
But he was ever present in that first half, and a big 3rd down play here for Charlie Nelson and the Yellow Jackets. The play comes in from the bench, brought in by Rick Walk.
After the game, Jim Gilliland will talk with the winning coach, and then we'll give you our offensive and defensive players of the game, brought to you by the American Dairy Association, Minnesota Dairy Promotion Council.
Well, here we go. It's 3rd and 10 at the 24. I formation. Nelson falls back. Scrambles now to his right, and it's thrown, deflected, and falls incomplete harmlessly, intended for Dan Meyer. That was Don Deming, number 36, the left end, who broke up the play.
And number 44, Chad Woods, put on the pressure to make that pass necessary.
Now
As Perham gets ready for its last gasp here from the 24-yard line, let's go back and see what Charlie Nelson, their quarterback, had to say yesterday about what the keys to this game would be today.
I think we have to open it up a little bit. You know, they have a lot of good athletes, good offense, so we have to shut them down and stuff, and not get our passing game going a little more than we had the last couple weeks in the snow. So.
Well, the passing game worked for one big play today, but not much else for the Yellow Jackets, and they're forced to punt it away.
And don't have to worry about the snow here. That ball goes out of bounds. They'll mark it at the 36-yard line, 37 make it. And that's where GFW will take over. So Brett Saylor has some work to do here defensively, trying to get the ball back and away from that rushing attack of the Thunderbirds.
Let's get you caught up with what else has happened here at Prep Bowl 8 at the Metrodome. The 9-man championship won by St. Clair. The Indians beat Albrook by a score of 47-12 as Brad Leffler scored 3 touchdowns and passed for a 4th. And in the Class C title game, Waterville Elysian came from behind to beat Mahnomen 14-7. First state title for Waterville Elysian.
Well, I'd imagine if you're the Thunderbirds, this is now where you want to you want to control the football. And that was Jamie Meyer, the quarterback, keeping the ball in the rollout, and Don Braun, who's really played outstanding defense today, the senior linebacker, 6 foot 173. That is a name we've heard quite a bit for the Yellow Jackets. Number 2.
A lot of key seniors for this GFW team. Jamie Meyer, the Deming brothers, Lamka, Schmidt. Many of their big guns are seniors, but Chuck Sundin there, you see, the GFW coach tells me that they've had a chance to play a lot of their younger players when they won some games big and got the starters out in the 3rd quarter, and they're very optimistic about where this program's going to go at Gibbon-Fairfax-Winthrop.
Well, the thing is also, as Matt Kruger was in on the stop there for the Yellow Jackets, not only does it, when you start a season, when you have a player like Jeff Deming, who's out with back injury for a couple games, other guys do fill in, they get some game experience, and down the road, it bodes well for depth on the club.
For what it's worth, if GFW indeed hangs on to win and there's 2:45 to play, this will be the 3rd game today that the Southern team has beaten the Northern team.
That's big Dave Johnson, 5'10", 165-pound, number 79. Here it is on 3rd and 5. And the fumble on the snap, and it's picked up, and they stop it right there. They whistle it dead. That's Jamie Meyer, the quarterback, mixed up on the exchange from center. That will set up the 4th down situation.
Pro ball, that was an advanceable ball, but Meyer had his knee on the Metrodome turf when he picked up the loose ball, so he was downed automatically at the time.
So on 4th and 5, they will try to go for the 1st down on the 32-yard line. Figuring maybe a punt will just sail into the end zone, and the touchback will be out to the 20, so this be a gain of 12. But they let the clock run down. It's now inside 2 minutes of regulation time. And maybe they'll just wait for the penalty, and indeed they do. Too much time. Now they will put the punting team on the field. So Chuck Sundin now with the score up by 12, wants that clock to run down. We want to give special thanks to our spotters today, Dan Schrader from Perham and Kelly Smith from Gibbon-Fairfax-Winthrop. Kelly also the athletic director for the program there. Congratulate those two fine gentlemen for outstanding football seasons and thank them for their help here in the booth this afternoon.
Well, last year, the Section 3B championship game came down to Gibbon-Fairfax-Winthrop and Waterville-Elysian. Waterville-Elysian won that game, and this year both those teams have gone on apparently to win state championships as GFW leads by 12 with 1:53 to play.
Well, here's the punt, and it will sail out of bounds at the 1-yard line. They mark it.
Well, all I can say is that gives Perham a chance to crank up a 99-yard touchdown play.
So Shad Evenson, really, we talked about special teams just a moment ago. Shad Evenson punts one that rolls out of bounds at the 1-yard line. And with 1:45 remaining, the Yellow Jackets will operate out of their own end zone, down by 12.
That bounce was a healthy one, and had that been a little farther away from the sideline, it would have gone into the end zone easily for a touchback. But Evenson aimed it nicely and was able to pin the Yellow Jackets on their one.
Well, here's Charlie Nelson. The pump fake. He's going long again. This time it's caught. Caught by Braun. The old tip drill, and he alertly picks it up. And they have some breathing room out at the 29-yard line.
And Nelson just got clobbered as he released that ball, too. Watch as he drops back into the end zone with all kinds of pressure. From the blind side, number 36, John Deming, creamed him as he threw it. And somehow, in the middle of 3 GFW defensive backs, Braun was able to come down with that ball and give the Yellow Jackets a first down with 1:37 to play.
Well, Matt Pettis is there on the stopping, number 65. Good concentration on the old tip drill for Don Braun. Charlie Nelson has the football and the trailing back. He pitches out, and this is Matt King, and he gets out of bounds, stopping the clock at 1:30, and Jamie Meyer drove him out of bounds.
Perham trailing GFW 27-15, but a touchdown and onside kick. There's still a glimmer of hope.
Yeah, they're going to have to go for the home run ball here, I think, sooner or later.
That's what they tried to do on this play. Not often you see an upfield lateral like that, but kind of like the Stanford band play that Cal used on the kickoff return. You just got to keep throwing the ball at this point until somebody's either scored or driven out of bounds.
Well, all the bands are in the stands right now. And here's Charlie Nelson. And that time it's incomplete, and covering on the play was Matt Pettis, intended for Don Braun.
Coming up after this game, our Class A championship game. Totino-Grace of Fridley takes an 11-2 record up against the unbeaten Albany Huskies at 13-0. And then our AA game to wrap up the evening tonight, Stillwater versus Burnsville, for the AA championship of Prep Bowl 8 here at the Metrodome.
Ponies and the Braves. Been an exciting Class B championship game here.
2nd and 10 for the Yellow Jackets.
And this time Nelson will keep it. He rolls his left, cuts back toward the middle of the field, and he is brought down by his former tacklers. Matt Pettis is there, along with Kenny Oliebel.
I think Perham's doing the right thing as far as the offensive scheme. You know, if they run the option and maybe Nelson's got a chance to wiggle loose and wriggle free and break a long run. On a straight drop back pass, they're just facing too much pressure from GFW, and Perham's going to use one of their their final remaining timeout. Perham now out of timeouts with 1:02 to play, trailing 27-15.
Now what they have to do, if it was so easy, is try to get John Tater back in the open again for a easy touchdown like they had before of 90 yards. But
there's Charlie Nelson getting some words of wisdom from Fred Saylor on the Perham sideline. GFW trying to hang on for a state championship in their first state playoff appearance. Here's that last play again.
They came in here unbeaten, 13-0. They had some unbelievable wins of like 60-0, 67-0, 59-0 throughout the season. But this is the one that matters. Doesn't matter if it's a 1-point victory. They want a state championship, and they are 1 minute and 2 seconds away from achieving that dream.
GFW is doing it the way they've done their other 13 victories this season, on the ground. We've heard so much about Jeff Deming, their 1,700-yard rusher, and he scored a couple of touchdowns today, but Scott Meyer with a big touchdown run, Matt Miller with a very impressive touchdown run. The load has been very well balanced. Quarterback Jamie Meyer has done a good job calling the shots.
And here we go, Nelson again. Nelson spinning around. He cuts back the other way, directing traffic on the left sideline, trying to find someone. Finally just runs out of bounds as there was great coverage there, driven out by Jeff Deming. He was looking for number 1, Robert Jensen, and he had about 2 players around him, and he finally ran out of room, and that sets up a 4th and 9. So this could be it here for Perham as Chuck Sundin looks on. He is now 53 seconds away from a state football championship.
4th down coming for Perham. Again, that broken field running that Charlie Nelson does so well may have been their best chance to break a long game. And where he cocked his arm there, he was indeed behind the line of scrimmage. That would have been a legal pass had he chosen to throw.
Right, it's hard to believe Chuck Sundin has been a head football coach for 25 years now. He looks like a young guy. Here it is, 4th and 6. Nelson and the pass out of bounds. And that will about do it as they will take over on downs. Will Gibbon-Fairfax-Winthrop. That was intended for Robert Jensen. Covering on the play was John Deming.
49 seconds to play. Perham out of timeouts. And GFW leading 27-15. Chuck Sundin giving some instructions there to Eddie Magus, one of the ends.
Well, I want to congratulate, obviously, both schools for outstanding years they had. Perham, champion of Section 8, currently represented themselves proudly here this afternoon. They took the 12-1 record into the championship game and had some exciting moments with victories over top-ranked Deer River in the semifinals just to get here at 10-7, and a quarterfinal win over De La Salle. And certainly kudos as well to the Thunderbirds and Gibbon-Fairfax-Winthrop as they are now 49 seconds away from winning the Class B championship here in 1989.
Yellow Jackets jumped offside on that play. And so there's no play, a 5-yard penalty marked off automatically. Chuck Sundin will improve his record as the GFW head coach to 27-6. He's been the only head coach they've had in their 3 years as a consolidated school district. Overall, Chuck Sundin now will be 121, 55-1 in a total of 25 years as a head football coach at Pequot Lakes, at Winthrop High, and now at Gibbon-Fairfax-Winthrop.
Well, 49 seconds on the clock. 27-15 to score.
I'll be interested to take a look at the official stats here after the game and see just how much yardage GFW got on the ground as Jamie Meyer kneels down and lets the clock run.
And they cannot stop it. The Yellow Jackets cannot.
2 touchdowns for Jeff Deming on runs of 1 and 9 yards. Scott Meyer a 12-yard touchdown run. Matt Miller a 27-yard touchdown run. And John Deming kicked 3 extra points to account for GFW's 27. Perham got their touchdowns on a 91-yard kickoff return by Charlie Nelson to open the game, and a 90-yard pass from Nelson to John Tater, with Nelson scoring the 2-point conversion.
Well, that will be the last play of the ball game. The clock cannot stop, and we will count it down for you. Now inside 10 seconds as the Class B championship game, 1989, will go to the Thunderbirds, the Gibbon-Fairfax-Winthrop, over the Perham Yellow Jackets.
And of our 3 state champions crowned so far, GFW the second one to finish with a perfect record, 14-0, for Coach Sundin and his coaching staff.
Well, we saw the pregame handshakes, the traditional Prep Bowl handshake before the game, and now the ones after the game as the Thunderbirds simply had too many horses up front and too many guns in their arsenal. As they were challenged, though, gamely by Curly Nelson and company. But they showed a lot of poise. A lot of teams wonder how they would have reacted after having the opening kickoff run back against them. They kept their poise. I think that's a result of a lot of senior leadership.
Yes, indeed. And the speculation going into the game that GFW's size advantage would give them the benefit of the doubt in the second half. 7 200-pounders, rather 6 200-pounders, seeing a lot of action for the Thunderbirds, just 2 for Perham. I do think in that second half that made a difference. So there they are, your Class B state champions from Gibbon-Fairfax-Winthrop. And in just a couple of moments, Jim Gilliland will be visiting with the coach of the winning Thunderbirds, Chuck Sundin. Getting ready for the presentation of the medals of both the state champions and the runners-up.
Well, 27-15 our final score. Thunderbirds. And it's party time in the South Central. What is that? Highway 16, did you say?
Highway 19. Don't get lost, Gary.
Okay, well,
you don't want to miss the turn.
I'll make sure I take you along to navigate when I visit next time down that way, part of the state. What a great performance by Jeff Deming and crew, the senior tailback, who by our count had 141 yards rushing on the day, a couple of touchdowns. Some good play in special teams as well. Fans are whooping it up for two as teams are coming out for our next Class A championship game, Totino-Grace against Albany. But this Class B game was between Gibbon-Fairfax-Winthrop and Perham.
Don't forget, in addition to football, music a big part of the Prep Bowl here at the Metrodome. Our Class A halftime performance will be conducted by the Monona-Cotter High School Marching Band. The Coon Rapids High School Concert Choir will perform as part of our Class AA pregame show. And then the Apple Valley High School Marching Band and 8 champion dance lines from around the state will perform at halftime of our AA game tonight between Stillwater and Holmesdale.
Well, I was trying to get everyone in my aerobics class to watch all that dance line competition. And it's a dandy. Every year they have some outstanding entertainment. There you see the awarding of some of the championship medals to the players and all the support staff, the managers and coaches and such. The Thunderbirds from Gibbon-Fairfax-Winthrop, and there you see the proud Yellow Jackets of Perham. That's what the medal looks like. Champion, 1989, Class B. Kind of subdued along the sideline. I think once they get that trophy, though, and also I think that's part of that leadership and that poise you talked about.
Well, I'll tell you, Perry, even when you're 14-0, even when you're the state champs and you've achieved what you want to achieve, the season's over. And it hurts. I mean, if you enjoy playing this game, even if you've done everything you could possibly do, you don't like to see it end. I know I felt that way in high school. And the seniors, especially in this GFW team,
well, you also
had a great time.
With a lot of these athletes, we'll see here today how many start basketball practice on Monday or wrestling.
Exactly.
Because we have seen some outstanding athletic performances here so far today and more to come.
With Jeff Deming getting his medal, number 28.
There's the Yellow Jackets with a great year they had.
The Perham team come forward to receive their runner-up trophy, Class B.
They finished 12-2, the runner-up. And now the trophy proudly to be displayed in the case, as is that the championship. Team trophy.
Oops, they broke it already.
We'll get some super glue and put it on there, and it'll be as good as gold.
You break it, you bought it, buddy. It's your trophy now.
Now the dilemma of how to fix it, but I'm sure there's plenty of suggestions on how to get it done, so it will shine brightly in their trophy case back home. So congratulations to the Thunderbirds, winner of our Class B title game by 12, 27-15 over Perham. And boy, Perham had a couple big plays, a 90-yard touchdown return of a kickoff, the 90-yard pass to a wide open John Tater.
Perham was very much in the game until that too many men on the field penalty on the punt return with about 5 minutes to play. At that time, they were trailing by 6, and they would have gotten the ball back on the punt. But the penalty gave the Thunderbirds a first down. They went on to score on the next play, a 27-yard run by Matt Miller, and that made the final margin 12 points. Made it very difficult for the Yellow Jackets to do anything, and Chuck Sundin is now one wet, cold, happy man.
But if you're going to take a shower today, that's the type you want to take.
Let's go downstairs now. Jim Gillivan standing by with Chuck Sundin, the coach of the state champion Thunderbirds. Take it, Gilly.
Well, he just saved my life, Coach Sundin did. He saw it coming up on the scoreboard and got at least a few yards away before they got it. But
I lost my quicks. I saw it coming up on the monitor up there, and I couldn't get out of the way, but I probably shielded you from a big bath, I guess.
I'm appreciative of that. 26 years in the business, Chuck. It's got to be awfully gratifying.
Oh, gosh, this is the epitome of the whole thing. I just can't believe it. It's just super. And the kids played back from a tough game all the way, never let up, just kept coming. It was just a credit to the ball club themselves that they never caved in at all.
I know that you set your sights high, this high, even coming into the season. And when the other guys bring it back 90-some yards on a kickoff return, yeah, it would have been easy to, you know, turn tail a little bit, but you guys overcame it.
We haven't got that type of team. We just don't. Those kids won't quit no matter what the adversity may be. No matter, you know, how tough it may look, they never quit. They just keep working. And it's just a pleasure for me to be involved with a team like that, bunch of guys, I'll tell you.
Great to see the support that the communities have brought along. It's a wonderful state championship for Gibbon-Fairfax-Winthrop. You saw the trophy behind you. Congratulations, John.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you very much.
Memories of a lifetime. Back upstairs.
Indeed, that is true. Memories of a lifetime, memories of a state championship here at Prep Bowl A. Back with more after this. This is the Prep Bowl.
Confused? Getting a divorce? Injured in an accident? Charged with DWI? Or just need some good legal help? Dial Lawyers. Dial Lawyers is a local company built around the idea that you deserve high-quality personal legal service you can afford. Dial Lawyers are accomplished professionals with years of experience working with legal problems like yours. Dial Lawyers. L-A-W-Y-E-R-S. Straight answers, sound advice.
If you're still looking for the perfect present for those last few on your holiday shopping list, there's one gift they'll appreciate every day of the year. These great calendars.
The 365 Sports Facts a Year calendar. The lovely French Impressionist calendar. The down-home Lang Folk Art calendar. The Opus calendar features the Penguin Star. The Murphy's Law day-by-day desk calendar. And the Sierra Club Wilderness Engagement calendar at B. Dalton Bookseller.
You can call me Books.
Billy Valentine's a fast-talking con man. Louis Winthrop's a straight-talking businessman.
Morning.
Then their worlds collided.
Is there a problem, officer?
Valentine goes from rags to riches.
I can really dig this, Randy. You know why? This kind of thing happens to me every week.
And Winthrop goes from riches to rags. Comedy sensation Eddie Murphy, Dan Aykroyd, and Jamie Lee Curtis. Trading Places. Tuesday night at 7 on Receptive Channel 9. Wanted, a few good men and women. Experience new thrills. Travel to new and exciting places. Meet interesting people. Learn from the masters and have the time of your life.
I'm so excited I can watch.
Get ready, because MASH wants you.
MASH, weeknights at 6 and 10 on Receptive Channel 9.
Barry Williams.
Preston here. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on you. We're so excited about our American Dairy Association, Minnesota Dairy Promotion Council Players of the Game. Take it away, JG.
Our offensive player of the game for the state champion Gibbon-Fairfax-Winthrop Thunderbirds, senior running back Jeff Deming, 141 yards, 2 touchdowns, also played an outstanding game on the defensive side of the ball as well. Jeff Deming, congratulations as our offensive player of the game. Defensively, the honor goes to Perham defensive back Charlie Nelson, who excelled in all aspects of the game today as a quarterback, throwing a 90-yard touchdown pass, returning a kickoff 91 yards for a touchdown, and doing a good job in the defensive backfield for the Perham Yellow Jackets.
Well, congratulations to them and to their teams as well as we get ready for our Class A championship game coming up. Then it's moments away. Doug McLeod joining me back in the booth here at Prep Bowl 8.
Sometimes you can tell by the way it looks. Sometimes you can tell by the way it feels. Sometimes it comes to you in broad daylight. Sometimes you find it in the middle of the night. But you know when you got the right one. This is the right one. You know when you got the
Imagine the power of a huge snow thrower in the body of a smaller one. Snapper presents its single-stage snow thrower. Lightweight, easy to start, and easy to use. With enough power to throw snow up to 30 feet. This Snapper cleans a 20-inch path with rubber-lined steel augers. And it's built to last with Snapper's long-standing reputation for quality.
snap for single stages like you'll find a size that suits you right. It's a snap with the snapper.
They say 86% of fat women enjoy sex.
This weekend, there's big fun with Arsenio.
Actually, I can believe it because you know how hungry you get after making love?
Join the party as he gets the skinny from Geraldo Rivera, plus some tall tales.
Actually, I'm 6'1". Stand up.
From Detroit Piston Isaiah Thomas. And some big sounds from Amen star Sherman Hemsley on the Arsenio Hall Weekend Jam.
Sunday night at 10:30 on Channel 9.
Sam's dating a Brooklyn hairdresser.
I got you a little something. Shampoo, mousse, conditioner, body oil.
I'll take that.
And Tony's against it.
I don't want my daughter dating that hood with a hairbrush.
Al isn't good enough for Sam.
Bingo.
You used to be Al. And now you just turned into some suburban snob. Bingo!
On the next Who's the Boss?
Monday at 5 on Channel 9.
Back at the Metrodome and just about ready to go for the Class A title game, the Totino-Grace Eagles and the Albany Huskies. Hello, everybody. This is Doug McLeod on Receptive Channel 9. Glad to have you with us. And here at the Metrodome for the events today, a lot of people's thoughts have been, and eyesight certainly, has been turning to some signs, posters all around the place. And that young man right there is in a lot of people's thoughts. Jacob Wetterling. You know the story. What they need now is information. They need to help find Jacob and other abducted youngsters like him. If you know anything, the Crime Stoppers number is on your screen. Please call that number and bring Jacob home and help anybody that you can. And high school league involved in that this year, and it's a great thing to be involved in. Well, the team's warming up out on the field. We'll have our Class A title tilt in just a moment, and we'll be right back to the Metrodome.
Who rang that bell? I did. You have the 50th anniversary tape of The Wizard of Oz. Prove it. It's got extra footage. It's only $24.95, and you get $5 back from Downey.
Well, bust my buttons! Why didn't you say so? Come on in!
Come on in, it's fluffy soft with Downy freshness. Now you're set to watch the tape of the Merry Old Land of Oz.
Look for the $5 refund offer on The Wizard of Oz from Downey.
Mr. Morrison has just left his lights on. Mrs. Morrison is pregnant, very pregnant. So the Morrisons could be in trouble.
David, it's time.
Big trouble.
Oh, my gosh. Let's not panic.
Fortunately, the Morrisons have the new Champion Switch battery.
The hood.
If it ever goes dead, just switch to the reserve and start your car. Switch back, and the main battery recharges. Get the new Champion Switch, the battery with a spare, at Montgomery Ward.
Some radio stations have a strange idea of classic rock and roll.
Legendary Sugar Sugar.
But 92 KQRS is Minnesota's home of rock and roll. Some stations play the same songs over and over and over. On KQ92, you get real variety. For classic rock and the cream of the new stuff, too, compare their playlist, our playlist. Minnesota's home of rock and roll. 92 KQRS. Lock it in.
Well, the teams are warming up out on the field for the Class A championship game at the Metrodome. The Totino-Grace Eagles, 11-2-0 on the year. Dave Nigan has got this club in here. They won back-to-back state championships in 1977 and 1978, and they're here to try it in the Prep Bowl tonight. The Albany Huskies, one of the last remaining undefeated teams in the state of Minnesota. The Huskies come in unbeaten and untied in 13 games. Albany is 13-0-0. Although the Huskies have been in the state playoff field 7 times, 6 of them under head coach Jim Mater. This is their first Prep Bowl appearance. Last year, they lost in the semis 14-7 to the eventual Class A champion, Lakeville. Well, the team heading for the sidelines. We'll have the introductions to the players and the kickoff for our Class A championship game in just a moment.
It's too funny.
Lincoln, would you get a stool specimen, please? Business or personal?
Too hip.
Ungrateful little yuppie larva.
Too spooky.
You're scaring me. Stop it.
Too much.
Do you know how weird it is out there?
Ghostbusters 2, now available on video cassette.
Yes, we're back.
can tell by the way it looks. Sometimes you can tell by the way it feels. Sometimes it comes to you in broad daylight. Sometimes you find it in the middle of the night. But you know when you got the right one. This is the right one. You know when you got the right.
Here's why people come to Thompson Oak Furniture. People are surprised at the amount of just oak furniture at Thompson's. We call it the Oak Superstore, but there's something else that surprises our customers. They pay less for furniture of this quality. Call Thompson Oak Furniture and find out for yourself.
Billy Valentine's a fast-talking con man. Louis Winthrop's a straight-talking businessman.
Morning.
Then their worlds collided.
Is there a problem, officer?
Valentine goes from rags to riches.
I can really dig this, Randy. You know why? This kind of thing happens to me every week.
And Winthrop goes from riches to rags. Comedy sensation Eddie Murphy, Dan Aykroyd, and Jamie Lee Curtis. Trading Places. Tuesday night at 7 on Receptive Channel 9.
Perry Williams, Doug McLeod. We're getting ready for our 4th of 5 championship games here at Prep Bowl 8, 1989 edition, live from the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome in Minneapolis. It is nice and cozy indoors. A lot of these teams to get here had to play in the chilly outdoors throughout the sectionals and the state playoffs, but here they are and ready to tee it off. Albany and Totino-Grace. And there you see Albany in the blue uniforms. Officially they say purple and white. And then for Totino-Grace, the Eagles will have their navy and gold uniform. They're from the Fridley area, as you mentioned. They were here back in 1977 and 78, champions then. A lot different team. They used to grind it out then. This time they can throw it up in the air. Some outstanding athletes to watch here in our Class A game. And here to call it for you, our play-by-play voice for this one, Doug McLeod.
All right, thanks very much, Perry. The kickoff is going to be taken at the 20-yard line. We'll have a quick reversal of direction, and T.R. McDonald steams across the 35 to the 40. McDonald at the 50-yard line, and he was hauled down just across the midfield stripe at the 37. Sean Wenzel, number 11, made the stop. Let's take a look at how the Eagles will run their offense. A lot of different looks here. Dave Koken at the left side, Mertz, Helberg, Schmidt, Bollinger, Cronin, and LaPanta on the right side. The backfield, Matt Vanna, the senior quarterback, running for the pro set with Paul Jordan, the fullback. Cronin, McDonald are the running backs. It is 1st and 10 at the 47-yard line. Totino-Grace Eagles on the first down from scrimmage of our Class A championship game. Matt Vanna, number 7, the quarterback. Rolling, keeping at the 45-40 to the 35-30. Gary still goes as they pitch to Brun, and they take it all the way to the end zone. Touchdown. Vanna with a great roll, and Ben Brun, number 41, took it all the way home for a touchdown. The first play from scrimmage, a 47-yard run. And the Totino-Grace Eagles are on the scoreboard with 11:19 to go in the first quarter.
Well, how do you do? They return the kickoff to the 47-yard line. Great play by Matt Vanna here. He held the ball, nice gain on his own, finally pitched it the last minute. Actually had his choice of 2 men there, but it was Ben Throne who grabbed it, number 41, the all-honorable mention all-metro player, and he dove into the end zone as Darryl Goebel was there to make the stop, but too little, too late. 6-0, Totino-Grace on the board.
Trying to make it 7, T.R. McDonald, and he didn't get it through. It just missed. We've had a lot of off-the-mark point-after attempts today, but it's Totino-Grace on the scoreboard for 6-0 early in the game.
Come settle down for a long winter's nap with wonderful gifts from Water Bedroom. The children will nestle all snug in their beds with big fluffy pillows to comfort their heads. Enjoy holiday savings and no payment till March on kids' water beds, day beds, and bedroom furniture, like our Palliser 5-piece bedroom, sale priced at $4.99. Other youth beds as low as $129. Holiday gifts from Water Bedroom, wishing a Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
See Art Goebel Ford for the 3 S's when you buy your new Ford. Selection. More than $6 million in 1990 Ford inventory, with more new Fords coming every week. Sales. APR financing as low as 6.9% for 24 months, or cash rebates up to $1,000 on selected models of Ford cars, $1,250 on Ford trucks. Satisfaction. No-nonsense customer service backed by Art Goebel's 35-year distinguished customer service reputation. Now is the time to buy your new Ford from Art Goebel Ford, Coon Rapids.
Well, quite an honor for the officials to work in the Prep Bowl as well. In our Class A championship game, we have Bruce Anderson, Dave out of Apple Valley, Dave Bell out of Egan, Rich Mollum over Shoreview, and Bob Beerscheid out of Roseville. They'll sharpen those zebra outfits.
McDonald will kick off and slips it along the ground. It takes the bounce and will be scooped up by Keith Studer at the 15-yard line to the 20. Cuts to the sideline and got nailed there. On the way out, Brian Novak drove him down. So the Albany Huskies will get going, and here's what their offensive look will be. Todd Rotenwald on the left side, Eink, Durkis, Schmidt, Kurzik, Port, and Punsak. And the senior quarterback, Willie Seiler, with Willing, Wimmer, and Goebel generally running out of the wishbone. And this time they try something off tackle to the left on the hand from Seiler. Not much gain on the play, and the tackle will bring the ball to the 23-yard line. Let's take a look at the Totino-Grace defensive set. Gary Graham, Mike Mertz, Jay Bollinger, Joe Lemire, and Dan Urich. The corners are LaPanta and Wallach. The linebackers Jordan and Gassick. Safeties McDonald and Doherty. Again through the line, and Darrell Goebel got tripped up just shy of the 30-yard line by the senior linebacker Paul Jordan, who led the team in tackles with 106 coming into today's game. There's Dave Niggin on the sidelines for the Totino-Grace Eagles, who says they almost got here last year, and he talks about how that felt.
I think there are kind of two sides to it. On the players' side, once they've had an opportunity to play in the kind of competition that they receive in a tournament and the excitement of it, they want to go back. From a coaching standpoint, once you're in the tournament, you actually learn how to organize and how to prepare a little bit better for it. So I think it gives you a little bit of an edge.
Dave Niggin watching from the sidelines as Willie Seiler of Albany carried, and T.R. McDonald cut him down across the 32-yard line. They'll put it squarely on, and we'll have a measurement. They needed 4. Just short.
They got 3 and 11.
That's right. Just shy. And I mean, you saw it right there. It's a matter of inches.
And Doug, they're going to go for it.
Tukey, 77, is in for Ike, 79 at left tackle. Just under 10 minutes to go in the first quarter. 4th and inches. Everybody up the middle. And it looks from here as though they got it. Wall of human flesh and the football under there somewhere. They'll bring in the chains again. It didn't go as far as I thought it had. The ball just right at the 32.
It's awfully close.
Sure is. They were just inches shy. It looked like they got it, but we'll see. Yes, and they got it. They advanced that football about 5 inches. And that's all it takes. Talking about a game of inches, we got one. 9:51 to go in the first quarter. Totino-Grace 6, Albany nothing.
Well, Albany's a big first quarter team, Doug. They did the bulk of their scoring early on, 181 points in the season in the first quarter. And pretty much just running that wishbone formation.
There the running back Darrell Goebel ran into the middle linebacker Jay Bollinger for a short gain of a couple of yards on the play. The Albany Huskies boast 3 standout tailbacks. They each have 15 touchdowns. The seniors Eric Wimmer and Darrell Goebel, who are the 2 running backs, and the junior Brad Sensen. Lead to the right, Eric Wimmer carrying across the 40, 50. Here goes Wimmer to the 40, finally wrapped up and hauled down at the 34-yard line by the left cornerback, Brad Wallach, 6'1", 165 junior corner, and a big gainer for Eric Wimmer one of their 1,000-yard runners along with Goebel.
Well, there you see it. You had a feeling if you get one more block, he'd be all the way. But alertly coming over on the side is Wallach, number 9.
Another look at it is Wimmer, a good, strong runner. That's the way to get a good, strong runner. You can't get him high. You got to grab him around the middle. Eric Wimmer on his 125th carry had 1,039 net yards and 15 touchdowns coming in. They're going to get a new ball here. So Goebel and Wimmer, between them coming into this game, had rushed for 2,059 yards and 30 touchdowns on the season.
But that can create a lot of headaches when you're trying to figure a defensive scheme, how to stop an offense like Albany.
Your quarterback wants the Rollins, right?
There's a lot of question marks about the offensive line coming into the season. They were young, but they did mature. They did have the depth at running back and returning most of their skilled positions.
Again for the wishbone. On the delay. Now the pitch from Seiler, bobbled by Wimmer. Turned the corner at the 32-yard line and might have made the 30 before the safety, Aaron Doherty, brought him down right over at the sidelines. Eric Wimmer, number 42, 6 foot 170 senior tailback.
Alert play by Wimmer to pick up the loose ball and watch the official himself go down just to get out of the play. So he would not interfere, and he just took a seat on his own. I don't see from there he's seeing that angle, and he actually makes a gain on what could have been a disastrous situation.
I don't know if Eric Wimmer likes AstroTurf or the artificial turf or not, but he's got to love it on that play. Now on 2nd and 6, it goes to Wimmer again. At the corner to the 30 and the 28-yard line, and a swarm of Totino-Grace Eagles led by the cornerback Brett Wallach was there to smother that play down, and Wimmer continues to carry the man.
Boy, there was a pop by the right guard on that play. Number 65, Ken Kierzak. Watch it coming up here. That was already transpired on that replay angle, but he helped open up that hole to make it 3rd and 2 at the 32.
7:54 left in the first quarter. 6-0 Totino-Grace. Rodenwald is wide to the right. The give will go to the crossing back, Brad Sensen. And he went barreling in, and Jay Bollinger, the nose guard, nailed it there, and that's good for a first down for Albany. Jim Maynard, the coach of the Albany Huskies, says our philosophy is to get 5 yards on the first down, use the pass only when we want to. They want to keep it on the ground and keep that good ball control offense, and that certainly has helped them march down the field in the early going here this evening.
Well, as you mentioned, he had some concerns coming into the season about the offensive line. They lost a lot of players, but they matured into a good, solid unit.
Pitch wide to Darrell Goebel. And the swarming defense got him inside the 20-yard line. They continue to chew out those 3, 4, 5-yard gainers. Aaron Doherty, the junior safety, wrapped him up there. And Darrell Goebel, who came in with the 1,020 net yards, 124 carries, tied for the lead with Eric Wimmer on this team coming in. Did the job there. Now with 7 minutes to go in the first quarter, it is 2nd and 5. The ball on the 19-yard line for Albany. The give goes to Wimmer. Across the 20 to the 19. And Mike Mertz, the senior left tackle, got him there. 86 tackles, puts him number 3 on the list for the Totino-Grace Eagles. Number 71, Mike Mertz, a 5'11", 200-pound senior. Ball is on the far hash mark just inside the 19-yard line. It will be 3rd down and 4. Now to throw. To the right side, Rosenwald, but well overthrown and out of the end zone. He was in double coverage in any event as he went to the corner, and T.R. McDonald was the man right on him. Willie Seiler, who is a 48.9% passer on the year, completed 47 of 96 for 847 yards and 6 touchdowns. Only intercepted 4 times on the year.
Well, he had some running room, too, on that right side if he wanted to go around and pick up the first down. But Rodenwald gave the signal that he was open, but it just overthrown quite a bit.
Rodenwald to the right side again. It is 4th down and 4 for Albany. Here goes the pitch around the corner as they turn. For Sensen, touchdown, and Albany has tied the game with 6:20 to go. The pitch to Brad Sensen, the rangy junior running back, and in he goes for his 16th touchdown of the year. It's a 6-6 game with 6:20 left in the first.
Some great blocking on this play. Once again, watch number 65, the right guard, who is pulling Ken Kierzak, and he will level a player here right there, and that opened up the final hole for Sensen to find the end zone and possibly tie the score.
scooped up, and that's not playable. It's an automatic dead ball on that play. So they came out with a little fireworks, but wound up with the game just tied. It is 6-6 in the first quarter.
If you're using direct mail instead of television to deliver your message, ask yourself, when was the last time you threw a TV commercial in the garbage? TV advertising. You're spending for impact. Why not get it?
Pedro's is the largest luggage store in the Twin Cities. You'll find all the top name brands like Samsonite, French, Hartman, and Zero Halliburton, plus hundreds of beautiful leather business cases. Pedro's has it all, from designer purses to business and travel accessories. You're gonna love Pedro luggage. It's so much more than a luggage store.
Pedro's is quality, value, and style.
Different angle will pick up the Albany touchdown, and there you see the block in front that we mentioned, number 65. Boom! And that opened up the hole, and he cut it back inside for the score. That was the junior tailback, Zenzen. Brad Zenzen to even it up at 6 apiece. And I don't know, Doug, you have the feeling this could be a wide-open affair before it's all done.
Well, these two teams are capable, no question about that. An 18-yard run capped a 13-play drive, 78-yard drive, consuming 4 minutes and 59 seconds. Foot drop short. It'll be taken by Ben Brunt. Nice little fake on the reverse to the 25, and rolled down. Special teams charging in, and Todd Rodenwald made the tackle. Well, you may as well try it. I mean, why not? Nobody was fooled by this one.
Well, we've seen this throughout the day. Many teams doing not only the reverse, but a lot of fake reversing, and Brunt has it. But this is a picture book tackle right there, just like it is against a tackling dummy in a practice. They all started up last fall.
And now the Totino-Grace Eagles take over. Ball at their own 26-yard line, 1st and 10. Slow motion right, T.R. McDonald. The quarterback, number 7, is Matt Fana. He will hand to the first man through. The fullback ball short and across the 40-yard line. And hauled down about the 42. Let's take a look at the Albany Huskies defensive set. This will have a few different looks. Punsak, Suki, Schillinger, and Kirzak will be up front. Now Tice will either be a right end on the defensive line or a linebacker, depending on their set. Schwegler and Nett are the backers. Studer and Goebel the corners. Wenzel and Wimmer are the safeties. Wimmer is the strong safety, and Sean Wenzel the free safety.
Number 86, Punsak, the one to watch on defense for the Huskies.
1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Big stack penetration just over the line of scrimmage, and John Schillinger, the senior, number 56, who has 49 solo tackles on the year, made that stop. And I thought for a minute Brun was going to take Banner right through the line with him. And there's a delay handoff, but looked like it had Velcro on it. Ball at the 43-yard line, 2nd down and 8. Showing the wishbone set now on its own right. Totino-Grace with the ball. Flanker right. Make the pitch back goes around the corner to T.R. McDonald, crossing the 45-yard line to the 46. And Chris Tice hauled him down. Let's go down to the sidelines now to Jim Gilliland.
Well, concerning the officials, you're looking at Dwayne Muchler, who is the longtime basketball coach at Stillwater High School. And he was scheduled to work the AA championship game. But, of course, when Stillwater became a participant, that became a no-no. Dwayne Muchler, along with Mark Larson of Stillwater, Doug Messlow of White Bear Lake, and Bob Messlow of Matamidi, then swapped games with the crew that was scheduled to work the A game originally. And so that's why we have our current officiating crew. But don't worry, Burnsville. That AA game will be on the up and up. Dwayne Muchler working the Class A championship game instead. Back upstairs.
Banna's pass was incomplete, and with 4:17 to go in the first quarter of a 6-6 ball game. Now Totino-Grace will have to punt in a 4th and 5 situation at the 46-yard line. Keith Studer, number 12, will be back in single safety to receive for the Albany Huskies. T.R. McDonald, number 21, will punt the ball away. He gets a good drive that will drop just outside the 20-yard line. Bouncing, and finally it'll be down there by Mark Boguski of Totino-Grace. 6-6 game, and we'll be right back.
So what do you want after dinner, eh?
I want romance.
I like adventure.
Big stars.
I'm looking for the perfect gift.
I just want to save